In this episode, we're going to have a look at taking this Excel file with a bunch of transactions and turning it into an app that I can give to my front-end sales assistant and they can use to add or modify sales. To do this, I'm going to need my browser. When you're getting started, the only thing that you're going to need is access to a work account. However, if you want to use any of the more advanced features and you want to test them out, then check out the Power App Developer Plan. It's free and it allows you to test absolutely everything. The only thing it doesn't let you do is, of course, deploy because it is the test environment. First thing I'm going to do is add to Dropbox my file. So I've got a copy in there. But you can also use OneDrive or the cloud or anything that allows you to store information. I'm then going to go to Power Apps, and in the top right hand corner you can see my environment. Here I've got my Wyzowl environment, which is my company-wide one, and I've got my developer environment as well. Next, I need to tell it I want an app. So I'm going to go to Apps, I'm going to choose New App. We're going to go with Canvas. It's the most flexible and we can do pretty much anything that we like. I'm designing mine for a phone, so I'm going to choose Phone, and the app name will be Sales App, and I'm going to click on Create. I'm going to skip the introduction, although the auto creator is very handy. And on the left hand side here, I've got my different options. I can expand and contract those as needed. The first one I'm using is the tree view. It's going to let me see all the objects I create. I'm going to rename this from screen 1 to SCR, and I'm going to have this as my list page. I'm then going to add a new screen. I'm just going to go with a blank one. This one will be SCR Details. And then finally, I'll have one more, and I'll call this one SCR Edit. On my screen list, the most common way to show information is the gallery. So I'm going to add a blank vertical gallery. I'm going to resize this so it fills the page, leaving just a little bit of space up the top for any icons I want to add. To add the data in with the gallery selected, I'm going to go over to the right hand side where it says Data Source, use the drop down, and I'm going to search for my Dropbox. If it asks me to log in, at this point I will log in. And then I'm going to choose my account I want to connect to. I can now see my sales data table. I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to tick the only table that's in here and choose connect. To add all of my information in here, I'm going to need to add some labels. Text boxes are for inputting. We just want to show information, so I'm going to have a couple of labels in here. Because I didn't have the gallery selected, it's created a text box outside of the gallery. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to click back on my gallery, and to add new information, I need to select the top part of the gallery. So if I click in the top part, you'll see it selects this. So this is talking about one record or row in the gallery. I'm going to go up to label. I'm going to have one of those, two of those, three of those, four of those. Now, by default, what they're automatically doing is they are giving us different fields that are available. Now, I don't want to show all of these, but I will want some of them. So let's keep some of these fields and edit others. To edit these, if I want to just put text in them, I can just double click. I'm going to type in here product name. And then underneath this, I'm going to click on the next one down. But I don't want this to be my product name. I want this to be my sale date. To the right of that, I have this random one, and I have Layla there. Layla is all good. It's returning for this row, or this item in the gallery, the product value. Number 1, however, is showing us the quantity. I don't want to show that, so I'm going to change this. And when I put the full stop in, you'll see a little drop down appears, and I can scroll up and down through all of my items. I'm going to go with the sale date. Now, this is fine, but the idea of this is more to get an overview of each of our transactions. To get more information, we'll need to go to a new page. to do this, I'm going to add myself a little icon. And let's see, which icon do we fancy? Lots to choose from. I think next will do. So I'm going to click on next. I'm going to add that in to the top right. So that should be nice and clear for them to click on. And then I need to tell this to do something. And you'll see the default of my options for the button is on select. That is set to the same as the parent. The parent refers to this entire cell, this entire row. So if I click on there, it will tell me which item this is representing. That's not what I want. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to choose on select. So on select, clicking anywhere in here actually does nothing. So I want to change that. So I'm going to switch this over and I'm going to say on select. I want this to navigate, and I want it to navigate to screen details. So SCR details. There's an additional argument that allows you to choose the transition. So how it looks when it moves between the pages. I'm going to go with fade. Sure, why not? Treat yourself. At any point, if you want to check if a part of your app is working, you can hold the Alt key and you'll see that your cursor changes to a little hand. So if I click on this, it should take me to the next page, which it does. It's taking me to screen details. To display more detailed information, I'm going to use from the Insert tab a form. There's two types of forms, the display form and the edit form. Well, we want to show more detailed information, so I guess it's going to be a display form. Just like with our gallery, we're going to need to define what's going in here. So over on the right hand side with the gallery selected, I'm going to change the data source. And I'm going to go for the same source as my previous gallery. Interestingly, these don't have to be the same. So you could create a simplified table or view that you want to use in your gallery to your form. This is particularly useful if you want to show from one location but edit a different location. Next thing I need to do is choose the fields that I would like. So I'm going to click on Edit Fields. I'm going to add some fields in here. Down here, I can choose all of the different values, and the order in which I tick them is the order in which they show up. Now, I'm not sure which order I want at the moment, so I'm just going to tick them all, and I can always change the order in a second. Choose Add, and you'll see they all appear. However, they're currently appearing as empty as it doesn't know which of our products to actually show. To change this, I'm going to go up and I'm going to change the data source and go down to item. And the item I would like to show is from our gallery, whichever one they clicked on. To refer to that, it's the .selected value. And that is going to show us the information about the product we clicked on a second ago. To change the order, nice and easy, all we need to do is go in and we can drag any of these fields around. So I would like to have my sale date at the very top, then I'll have my product, then I'll have how many we sold, for how much they cost us. Oh, we've got the unique identifier there, the sale ID. You know what, I'll put that at the top as well. It's kind of like the receipt. I've got the shopping centre and the weight. Let's swap those two around. Great. You can now spend ages formatting this. I'm not going to waste any time formatting this. What I do want to do is be able to edit it. So I'm going to go to Insert. And this time I'm going to add another icon. And I'm looking for, well, that'll do. It's literally called Edit. Let's add an Edit button in here. And let's also add a back button. So if I go back to my icons, and I'm going to choose, yeah, cancel is fine. The cancel button is going to take us to the previous page we were on, which was our screen list. Now, as tempting as it might be to use back, depending on what you decide to do when someone edits something, they could edit it, then click on back and end up back on this page. And then clicking on back would take them to the edit page. So we don't want that. We're going to specify that whenever they click on this, we want to navigate back to our screen list. And again, if you want to add a fancy transition, you can do. Now I need to send this to my screen edit. So I'm going to go to my edit button. And then I'm going to tell them I want to navigate through to my screen edit. And again, if you would like a fancy transition, feel free to add one. Again, remember, if you want to test this out, you can hold the Alt key and click on the button you want to test. So I want to check this. There we go. Now we're on the edit. Perfect. So we need a new form. This form, however, is not going to be a display form. It's going to be an edit form. So I'm going to add that in. Same process as setting up the display form. Over on the right hand side, data source. I'm going to click on sales table. Which fields do we want? Edit, add fields. I'm going to choose them all. Add those in. And so people don't get confused, I'll quickly just rearrange them to the same order as before. So I'm going to put sale OD at the top, then I'm going to have sale date, then I'm going to have the product name, its price, its cost, its quantity, its weight, and then the shopping centre. Perfect. And again, leaving a little bit of space because I'm going to need some kind of back button if people decide to check it out. So now what I want to do is I want to, again, synchronize this up with my gallery. So I can click onto the background of my form. Easiest way is to select your little slider at the side. And again, data source, I'm going to go down to item. I'm going to change this to my gallery to dot selected. Perfect. Now, I don't actually want someone to edit the sale ID here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click onto this cell. I'm going to use the drop down and I'm going to scroll down to display mode. So display mode is whether this is active or not. To edit this, I'm going to need to go to the right hand side, click on advanced and click on the little padlock and that'll let me change it. Now, this is currently based on the parent, so it means the entire form. So I don't want that. I'm going to write a basic if statement. I'm going to say if, and I want to check the form mode. So I'm going to check if form1 dot mode is equal to the form mode dot edit. So if the form mode is an edit, then I want to set the display mode as disabled. If it's not an edit, then I want to set the display mode as edit. And you'll see straight away it goes all grayed out as I've disabled the cell. So they can see the order number, but they can't change it. Again, you can choose here what to allow them to change or not using the same method. So if I want to change this, I can go over, I can hold Alt, but you'll find that when you want to change an input box, trying to use the Alt method can be really finicky. So instead, up in the top right hand corner, at any point you can run your entire app. So you see there I've got a little F5, or I can click on the play button, and I'm going to overwrite this. I'm going to say they actually sold 2. Now, the problem is, at the moment, there's no way for me to commit this save. So, let's close down this edit mode. And let's add a new button that will send this information back. I'm going to go for another icon. And I'm going to choose to have a little save icon. And when they click on this, I would like to submit my form. Which form would I like to submit? Well, we've only got one, so form 1. And close my bracket. Now, if I hold Alt, or you can use F5 to go back into the app, when I click on this, you'll see the little marching ants going across the top. And those saves have now been committed. If I was to look in my file in Dropbox, I've now updated this to 2 units sold. I'll need a way to go back. So again, I'm going to add in an icon. I'm going to have a cancel button. And if they click on the cancel button, I am going to navigate back to my screen list. And if I want to do a second action, it's a semicolon. And what I would like to do is I would like to reset the form 1. So any changes that I made are going to be got rid of. Obviously, if you've already submitted and saved, then it's not going to go anywhere. When I clicked on this, it submitted the form, but you'll notice it didn't take me anywhere. So I'll also need a second statement in there, and this one is going to be a navigate, and I want to navigate through to my screen list. So now if I give this a run, after clicking on save, it will take me back to my original list. So I can now go through, I can see each item, I can edit, or I can cancel out. The next thing I need is a way to add new items. So I'm going to go to my screen list and I'm going to have a new icon and I'm going to have it as an add button. When I click on the add button, I want to navigate through to my form 1. But I need to do something to the form 1 first. I'm going to need to do new form 1. Otherwise, I'm going to be in edit mode, which is obviously no use to me when I'm trying to add a new item. If I give this an F5 or hold the Alt key, now when I click on this, it takes me through to a new blank form. Final little tweak I would like to do to this, I would like to be able to delete any items I don't like. So I'm going to go to the details. And in here, I'm going to add one more button. And this is going to be a delete icon. And for this one, I'm going to say I would like to delete. I'm going to add a new icon. And what I would like to do is when they select on this, I would like them to remove from my sales table 1 collection. I would like to remove the selected item in my gallery. So gallery 1 dot selected. So here we have our sale for the lovely Layla. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in, and if I click on this, it's then going to send this back to delete that item. Now, one issue that you're going to have is someone might think this hasn't deleted because, of course, it's now just taken us to the next row. We can see that's Yoko now. So you'll probably also want to add an action. And my action is going to be to navigate back to the original screen list. Something always has to be the selected item, so this kind of thing can crop up. And there you have it. Your first app to allow you to view data, edit data, update data, and remove data. I hope you found this short useful, and I'll see you in the next one.